Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on Project Cars 2, tackling the snowy Nurburgring once more. I wasn't really quite sure what could possibly follow the Bentley, so I've gone for a highly requested car, one I know very little about though, the Porsche 936 Spider. It's a Group 6 car. There's a sticker on the door that says it, and the game categorizes as it. I've probably seen one at Goodwood. I know absolutely nothing about these cars in particular. However, it should be an interesting one. It's from the late 70s. It has got, it's kind of got that goldenish area of horsepower, 540 horsepower. So not the ludicrous 900 of wheel spinny turbo madness. It is turbocharged though. It is plenty light. Okay, it's not an ultra-modern car, so it's not like you have the ridiculous levels of downforce, but there's, it's still a high-end race car, so there should be some downforce. I'm not really sure what to expect. We have had a string of fairly nice-to-drive cars. I'm not so sure that this is going to continue that, but I could be completely wrong. It might actually turn out to be a very nice-to-drive car. I've thought about that. There's some vehicles, you never really know what you're going to get. I am thinking we might be looking at around the 9-minute mark for a lap time, if it is controllable. That is the very, very big thing. I have got one lap around a snowy Nurburgring to try and beat. Well, an 8:14 was the time set by the Bentley. I'd be astounded if it's got even remotely near that. However, if we can go sub 9 minute, we're doing pretty damn well. An 8:44 was the previous benchmark by the Ford GTE car. So let's see what our Porsche is going to be capable of. The first big thing I want to know is rear end stability. The good news, is that it does actually seem pretty planted. So one of the issues that we've seen time and time again are cars that turn in very well, but don't have the back end grip to go with it. And I'm happy to say that is not... we don't actually have much grip through there. That was a turn in. It wasn't the back end letting go. That was just the front had ran out of steering. We are on snow at the end of the day. We are on snow, and there is a finite and considerably, lower limit of grip. That was kind of just neutral steer. Everything gave up. Can I get to full throttle down here? Now, we could get to full throttle quite easily in the Bentley. I'm not so comfortable with trying to get to full throttle in this car. I mean, it is pretty damn quick, and I have got to full throttle there. Don't get me wrong, it is pretty damn quick. However, it certainly wiggles. Whoa, and then the back end's let go there big time. We've caught it. That's a warning. That's quite a big warning right there. You've got to have to be a smidge careful with the Porsche. How fast, you see, it is going to get up to, so it just pulls like mad. That's quite impressive. It's very damn impressive. It just doesn't stop going. Oh, careful now. I'm very curious to see how fast this will make it down that main straight. I mean, it might challenge the Can-Am car. Can-Am car is so far the only vehicle, another Porsche, that has hit 200 miles an hour down the straight. Now, the tyres do not help matters. They add more rolling resistance. So some other cars that might normally hit 200 can't do it in the snow. The way this pulls through sort of fourth gear is quite terrifying. it just goes. And yeah, we might see some very, very high speeds out of this. It's what we can do. No, we're not as bad through these slower corners, but we don't want the out like sort of second gear. Got to be very tentative with how you deploy that throttle, because if you do kick the turbos into life, if they spool up at the wrong point, you are in a world of trouble. But I've got more confidence in this. I've got a lot more confidence in this turning into corners than I've had in quite a few of the classic race cars. If we ignore the power delivery side of things even, this actually does feel pretty comfortable being thrown into the turns. Now, I don't want to hit curbs. The curbs, the bumps, they will upset cars like this, and upsetting cars in the snow is, you saw what happened early on in the run. When it does get upset and it starts sliding around, it goes big styly. I don't know how fast I dare be. That's about as fast as I dare be. Like a couple of miles an hour difference in these conditions will give you a big old trouble. Whee, careful. Okay, the good news is low speed stuff isn't so terrifying in this. Sometimes with very, very high downforce cars, when you are the low speed sections, all that downforce suddenly comes off. That's when things get very sketchy. The Group C Mercedes comes to mind. This, not so much. This, not so much. It doesn't seem too bad when we are dealing with the slow corners. I think I'm at a really awkward point in the power band. I'm kind of second gear off boost for quite a lot of it, but first gear on boost would end up in a big spin. Are you going to be flat through here? No, kind of glad I didn't try flat. It was close to flat, but just a little careful. On the careful side of flat. That's a good place to be with a single lap around the Nurburgring. Oh, there we go again. As soon as I'm trying to eke that power down that fraction earlier, it's just going. It's very close to... what's the right word for it? It's very close to being very quick around here, but it's just a tad on the scary side. Just getting that confidence to get the power down without managing to spin the wheels. Finding that point where you can really go for it. It's nowhere near as bad as quite a few cars I have driven, and not as difficult to drive as I thought it might be, or as you fear it might potentially end up being, but god damn, it certainly lets you know that it will not take any prisoners if you are a moron with it. Braking, I actually haven't had too many issues with locking up. I think I can probably get away with being quite aggressive before it's locking up. Ooh, we're not very fun through there. We're going to be sideways on the exit, little bit sideways. It's kind of the fun side of fighting a car, this one, I will give it that. It's a car that you really do have to work, but it's not a snappy, uncontrollable vehicle, so I'm okay with that. I'm relatively okay with that. It's not like the Formula A and some of the like the Group C car where you've got to be so delicate with the throttle. This, you've got to be prepared. You've got to be ready to catch it at just about any point with that back end moving, but it's slightly forgiving. You've normally got enough time, and I probably shouldn't say that as we now head up towards our very, very slow section. Yeah, probably shouldn't say that so far this car has been on the right side of lively. However, I'm not sure it's going to be so forgiving and easy to catch. Now we get into the tricky bit. I think this is actually one of the worst bits coming up here. I've talked about it before with the crests, with the downhill braking zones as well. They're the things that can catch out slightly awkward to drive cars. Like here, for example. No, the back end still stayed planted on the road, which is what I would definitely want to be seeing. Now, how brave can I be on the... or how brave dare I be through these corners as well? I mean, there is just not a huge amount of turning with this car. Like that's... I was quite close to just the limit of what the front end is going to do, let alone what I can get away with on the... Yeah, I'm using quite a lot of road because that front end just doesn't... It just can't carry the speed. It certainly isn't going to carry the speed of the Bentley, let's be honest here, or perhaps the likes of the Ford. You've got to think of all the high-tech suspension, high-tech aero that goes on in those cars compared to this, and I can't even try and make up for it with brute power through here because we've not got the rear end grip to make it stick. We've not got the front end grip to turn it in. I'm going to be a little braver through here though. Yeah, we're fine through there in third gear, just about on boost. Whoa! Then we wiggle on the way out. Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this car in a slightly, it's terrifying me way, but I can just about hold on to it for the course of the lap so far. I mean, we're not going to touch the we're not going to touch the Bentley. It's where do we fit in? Can we do a sub 9-minute lap? What can and can't we beat here? I don't think I really wanted first gear. I don't really know if I wanted first gear. I wish I could get closer to full throttle in second. I've been spoiled by cars that have been able to get to full throttle in second. They've got the traction. This doesn't. I mean, this has moved around a lot more than a lot of cars we've seen of late. How fast are we going to get down this straight? Come on, Porsche, don't do that now. We need... Oh, Oh, good God. We need everything you've got. Here we go. And pull. It's going. It's going. Are we going to see? It's up to 160, 170 miles an hour. It's as fast as the Bentley down here, pretty much. We're not going to crack 200 miles an hour with the car, but it certainly shifts. It really bloody shifts down here. Now, we will be flat through this bit. We're up to 180 miles an hour, but we're going to have to slow it down for this next little bit, and this is the big important braking zone. It's a wonky braking zone. You've really got to slow the car down for. I might want first, or do I want first out of here? Not really sure, because I can't actually use much power. Come on, Porsche. There's an under 9-minute lap beckoning if I don't do that too much. Oh, it wiggled. It's across the line. It is a sub 9-minute lap. 8:56 as we scrabbled manically to try and find some drive out of there. Yeah, that's lively. that's lively, but a good sort of lively, and I'm sort of okay with saying that. I'm pleased with that lap time, actually. Let's be honest, a car this old, rear-wheel drive, big turbo, or turbos, I'm not sure if it's one or two that are on this car. That's not a bad lap time. It's the composure it has through these corners. It's the fact that you can turn in pretty hard and the back end will stick. Now, it's going to move around when you start spinning the wheels up. When you start being greedy with the throttle, it is going to move around. But all in all, that's pretty good, I would say. The lap time, an 8:56.6, is going to put the car... It's actually all very, very close here. It's going to put the car into a 6th place. It is going to beat the Astra Touring car. It beats the Formula A. It beats the Renault 5 Turbo. Loses out by a second, pretty much, to the McLaren F1. McLaren had issues with the back end moving around, but the McLaren had unbelievable levels of traction, so that's what did that. It's about 10 seconds down on the Formula X. It's quite the challenge. It certainly is quite the challenge, but yeah, you want to be fully awake for it, but if you are fully awake and fully paying attention, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, this Group 6 car. Oh, and when you're just prattling around, yeah, that was... That's how easy it is to do something stupid. That I just stuck the pedal down while I was messing around when driving one-handed, and yeah, it will snap away from you. However, it's just about forgiving enough for you to be able to catch it. So put it all together, it's lively and very, very exciting. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.